Enjoy your the temple of Kom Ombo. It's an old word derived from the Greek form nubi, and then the Coptic form nubu, which is umbu, which is gold. It means gold. Kom Ombo. Kom means a mound. It's an Arabic word. It means a mound. Mound of gold. This is the name of the area because it was a very strategic point during the trade ways from here to the quarry of the gold mines in the eastern desert. So the city name Kom. The temple dates back to the Greek-Roman time. When I say Greek-Roman time, I don't mean that it's built by Greeks. It's an Egyptian temple built during the Greek occupation to Egypt, which is 300 years BC, and the Roman occupation, which is 300 years AD. So Greek-Roman temple like Philae yesterday, and this one, and the Edfu afternoon temple, all those built in the Greek-Roman time. Egyptian temples built during the Greek-Roman time. Inside the temple, so you can see the part of the columns here. The pylon, the edifice. It used to be here, the entrance of the temple. Nothing exists. Already swallowed by the Nile. We're already inside the temple to go to another court with a number of columns. Nothing left except the base of those columns. Let's go inside. Imagine how it was once day. Always you see the column, the king represented in relief and put his name at the front, double cartouche. Okay. Most of the Ptolemies and the rulers, we have 13 Ptolemies. Ptolemies the first, the second, the 13th. All of the Greek rulers ruled Egypt from 300 years BC to 30 years BC. Everyone adds something to the temple, and the Egyptian actually represented them on the wall to gain their. They were very afraid of the pharaoh, so they wanted to. In Arabic, we say crocodile, we say timsah. Timsah means crocodile. The crocodile that Sobek and his consort Hathor. Sobek and Hathor, and same thing here. Isis and Nephthys, two goddesses, crowning it's a coronation scene, crowning the king. This is a great hypostyle hall. When I say hypostyle hall, I mean it was roofed. 10 columns, 10 huge columns and roofed. Different columns, palm leaves like this one. Okay, lupus. Okay, closed bud or open bud. 1, 2, 3, and then the sanctuary of the temple. Still, bear in mind the double section, the double temple. Sobek and Horus. This leads to the sanctuary. This is supposed to be the Holy of Holies. Just imagine it was room and roof. Okay, in the center is the altar, black granite. Okay, and other side, another sanctuary that's dedicated to Horus. In between, we found stairs. This stairways goes to outside the temple. This is for the escape tunnel. For the priest, just in case every time was threatened, this is the goddess Isis, the goddess Nephthys. We distinguish every guy due to the sign or the crown above the head. This scene is very important because look at the offering table. This is an offering table. We found surgical and medical tools, which is still nowadays used in the surgery room. Like what? Like scissors. Yeah. Here is one. Those tools, the surgical tools, used for mummification surgeries to melt down the membrane and take it off from the nose and ears. This is such kind of easily chiseled, easily defaced. That's why they make it very deep. Okay, so we are now at the section of Horus. So we already see the pharaoh represented big size, the back side of the temple, pouring perfume, as you see, and an offering table where you can see strawberry, goat, bulls, all these eggplant. Okay, there, this symbolically offerings to the gods, and 2 jars of alabaster, like you saw in the museum, with the liquids of papyrus, okay, or lotus flower. Okay, this is symbolically represented on the wall, and actually, this is part of the rituals made inside the temple. It's praying before the, what do you expect? Horus. He is standing, the falcon head, we call him Hur. Hurwer, Horus the elder. But he is not himself, they form a triad. Triad.
Naik lang stay. Decent naik. Give it to me, Mama. Sit down. The Anubis allada. Anubis and
Let me see. Let me see.
oh, this is the the dead one.
Let me see. Ja, give me.
Pero
Acha, give me. Acha, what to do with?
Nefertiti.
Oh yeah. Acha, give me. 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 Acha, give me.
In Luxor, Karnak temple. Okay, and this temple is the best preserved. Today you will have a perfect idea about the plan of ancient Egyptian temple, particularly the Greek-Roman type. I told you every temple in Egypt dedicated to a main god. We visited the temple in Phila, dedicated to Isis, Komombo to Sobek, as well as Horus, the exception. This one in Edfu, dedicated mainly to the god Horus. The whole area worshipped the god Horus. You will see Horus always all over the temple. Horus temple, Hur, okay? Edfu, phonetically at the ancient time named Bahdet, B-E-H-D-E-T, Bahdet, the city of Bahdet. And the main god, Hur. So we say Hur of Bahdet or Horus of Edfu. I want to give you a famous, a good idea about the legend of ancient Egyptian. And he killed the beast, or hunting the beast, or killing the followers, particularly his uncle, the god Set. So from that time, this emblem became the emblem of protection and defense for all pharaohs and gods, and a symbol of the victory of goodness against evil. From that time, this sign was placed over all the gateways of ancient Egyptian temples. You will see it all over. The winged disc always colored with different colors. So now you know the idea of this winged disc was associated with the god Horus. So this temple, built in the Greek-Roman time, again, proves in any temples, okay, used to be one day standing flags that high. Square openings over here, just to fix a brace to hold the standards, the local standards of Edfu. This is considered to be a fort. So those windows for the fort in itself. Try to imagine the temple was roofed, and the fort consists of 2 or 3 floors average. So the windows, so they can look and see the arrival of the royal procession, or arrival of the pharaoh, the priests who are living already in the temple. Okay, welcome to the best preserved temple. Try to imagine, let's go back in time, okay, for 200 years BC, back in time with the time machine. Imagine how the Egyptians used to come here to celebrate the festival, the feast of the victory of Horus, which was one of the great feasts which was held here in the temple. By the entrance, look at the top. The whole, there used to be a door, gilded wood, all the way up, and you can see the door lintel closing the temple. And all the original temple, the same idea. And also, ceiling, you see this time a cobra, winged cobra, and winged vulture, and the solar disc, Horus. So the solar disc is what? It's the god Ra. Okay. And Horus is the 2 wings. So Horus and Ra joined together, mixed together, Ra and Horus. So we call it Rahu, Ra and Horus, praying before Horus of Bahdet, Horus of Edfu, wearing the double crown. Around us, a number of columns, beautiful, the best columns in Egypt, very well preserved, variety of columns. You can see the Horus, you can see the falcon, here, the flying falcon. Here. This is the falcon, okay? Still nowadays, falcon in Edfu, because it's a countryside, they notice this bird always flying, so they build. At the top of the columns, okay? And the cartouches, the names of all pharaohs placed on the architrave at the top. Again, the base of every column, this stands for the wave of the water. So the whole thing here, the hypostyle hole, stands for what? Stands for the beginning of life. After the primeval ocean, beginning of life, where the trees started to appear and palms. So this stands for the cultivated place after the universe creation. The relief, as you see, most of it has been defaced all over. The whole wall divided into registers. All this is the same scene you'll see in all Egyptian temples, dedicatory scene. The pharaoh praying before the seated god, different ones. I explain for you inside why the different gods and why they have been defaced. Islam, the connotation of the word Copts changed. Now when I say Copts, I mean Christian Egyptian and not Muslim Egyptian. Okay? And then we have the Coptic language, the Coptic art. One of the famous scenes here, this one, where you can see the priests wearing white robed priests. The man, the priest here with leopard suit or tiger skin. This is the chief priest. You can recognize him. Here, while the pharaoh or the Ptolemy, the representative always at the end, praying before the god Horus. This is a boat, okay? And inside is a shrine where they used to put inside the statue of the god. In the sanctuary of the temple, you remember, of course, every section of a temple have a gate. This is the main sanctuary of the temple. There's nobody allowed to come except except the high priest, the one wearing a leopard skin, as well as the pharaoh. Okay? And during the festival, while they put inside the two bags, even the pharaoh cannot go in, or the high priest. Okay, the colors is still preserved here for the clothes, and here the blue and yellow, the dedicated scenes again. Always you see this zigzag, you know, which is an incense, smoke. It's burning incense before the god Horus. Okay, the same thing, holding lotus of Iris, or you're gifting the sphinx to the gods. Okay, this Nut, the goddess of the sky, as they believe. A woman, a goddess stretching her body, and the stars of her body stands for the heaven. And in between is astronomical scenes here. The goddess Nut. So now you have an idea about their belief. Even the floor, the earth, it's a god lying in his bed. Okay. Production of the bark, the royal bark, the boats of the gods used to be here. Reproduction means always the head you see Horus, and inside you used to include the statue of the god. That's the system. That's how the ancient Egyptian used to reflect. Now it's dark. Used to reflect the sun rays inside the temple. Okay, so they have reflecting like this. Okay, because no electricity. Yeah, that's the idea. Take your pictures. يا باشا
انا عشان الكهرباء بس مش عارف.
يا باشا انت حبيبنا. Here, coronation scene. The pharaoh crowned by the gods, or joined by a number of gods or goddesses. This is purification scene. You see the key of life. Two gods pouring the key of life to give life to the god. The legend of the victory of Horus represented on the walls. Here, look here behind you, this side. You can see Horus always in the boat, holding hippos, sometimes hippos or crocodile, or the barks. It's a representation of how the victory.
زميلي المصور الكبير فاروق ابراهيم قالت يعني اهلا وسهلا تيجي لكن
വൃത്താൾക്കാർക്ക് ഈ വെള്ളത്തിലെ കുളിക്കുക വെള്ളത്തില് അല്ലേ
وطبعا فاروق ابراهيم مصور صحفي موهوب فاتضايق جدا واشتغل بسرعه
Seguir, bailar. Sí, tres.
queen never tired. Very good. Thank you. That was very good.
Let me see it, child. Let me see. Wow. Hello? 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 Dad, let me see. Let me see. Never gets me when I was bandage. He never gets me when I was bandage. He never gets me when I with bandage. Never when I was with bandage. I will go. I will go. Never my head. You never see my Powerpuff Girls. You never see my powers. You never see my Powerpuff Girls either. You never guess what I am. You never guess what I am. You never guess.
خد بقى ايه استمتع بقى حاجه بقى ايه وقت براحتنا شوف اللي انت ما Thebes, Luxor became a touristic site and the most important one. The number of tourists increased and attracted many tourists to come here. So we consider it is the best, the top of the agenda as well as the pyramids. Just wait to see today how big Karnak temple and how huge comparing to the Greek Roman temple. Now we look behind from the back side of the unfinished pylon when we can see the mud brick, the scaffoldings here. Okay, and that gives us an idea about how Egyptians used to build such high big forts. They used to make scaffoldings, okay, and ropes to go up to build it from bottom to top, and then they make the relief from top to bottom. Okay, because it's unfinished, so it's left it abandoned like this. This is an open court. Open court. Okay, try to imagine. Bear in mind that the whole temple was roofed. Look, the roof used to be here. The whole temple was roofed except the open court. Wherever you see columns like this, you know that there is a ceiling. Okay, no columns, no ceiling. Okay, so this is the upper court of the 22nd dynasty. Okay, much older than the pylon, which is 30th dynasty, have been added later on. Every temple you see a triple behind you, triple chapel. Triple chapel. 1, 2, 3. 3 niches. Here they keep the statues of the triades. Every temple has a triade. Triade means three gods: Father, Mother, and Son. 19th dynasty, Pharaoh Seti II. He made it here. You can see the 3 gauges setting. This is the Amun-Ra. Amun-Ra, the god of Thebes in the New Kingdom. His wife Mut, and the son Khunsu. Khunsu is the crescent god of the moon. You can see the crescent moon of his head and the solar disk, curved beard, holding the crook and the flail, and the backbone of Osiris, this side, named the backbone of Osiris, which is a symbol of stability, and the key of life. Okay? So you can see the Pharaoh Seti II praying before the triade of Luxor. And that's the bark, the boat you saw yesterday in Edfu. Okay? This is the boat, the royal, sacred bark for the god. You can see the head is a ram, which is a symbol of the sun god. Okay? This is 5 on each side, that big. Nothing left except this single one. Try to imagine, it was 10 columns, 5 on each side, and roofed. It said that 100 men can stand at the top. The capital of the column looks like an open papyrus flower. Okay, this one built by a pharaoh in the 25th dynasty. 25th dynasty. So we're going back on time, and that was the entrance of the temple, roofed with a gate here. Okay, and then the avenue. The pharaoh who came here, he kept all the sphinx, collected them together inside, and added his pylon. This is the picture of Ramses III himself. Okay, left leg forward, wearing a double crown. So whenever you see left leg forward statue, arms like this, straight beard, meaning that the statue made while the pharaoh was alive. Okay, cross armed, 2 feet together, curved beard, meaning the statue made while the pharaoh is dead, after his death. Funeral statue, in a position of a dead pharaoh. Okay, like this, for the same pharaoh Ramses III, all over and attached to the pillars. Okay, this is open court, no roof, for the festivals, for the common people to come in the open court. The more you go inside the temple, okay, the high the floor is. So the floor progressively rises as much as you go inside the temple. That's the same copied by the Greek to the typical ancient Egyptian plan of a temple. Let's go to the hypostyle hall. 2 big cartouches, still colored in green, for Ramses II. And I told you every pharaoh has 2 names, birth name and coronation name. He always wrote both of them. This is the sanctuary. Then we have triple sanctuary, 1, 2, 3. Inside, he put the statue of Amun-Ra. Left and right, he put the statues of both Mut and Khunsu, the father, the mother, and the son. Let's see. Later on, by another pharaoh named Banejim, 21st dynasty. Originally, it was 20th dynasty made by Ramses II. 19th dynasty, Ramses II. Usurped by pharaoh of the 21st dynasty. She was the queen Nefertari, the queen of Ramses II. You can see this section is 61 columns. 61 columns. In the center, 12 columns, 6 on each side. The 12 column, the central 12 column is quite high. See, high, it's about 20 meters high, closed spot. Okay? So try to imagine all over, everything was smooth. So the difference in height between the short columns and the high columns give rise to what? To 7-story windows, like church. So it was roofed like this, like that, and then like this. Okay? So this here, you know Omar Sharif? Omar Sharif? Do you know him?
Yeah.
one of the most famous films for Ahmad Sharif is you can see the bark of the god Ra, and carried by the jackals. The jackals, a number of jackals. It's a symbol of like jinnis, like minor gods. And in the center, always you see a leopard skin suit. This is the chief or the great priest, and the pharaoh over there to the left. You see praying before the god Ra. This scene also unique. Festivals and feasts used to be celebrated by ancient Egyptians, which is the feast of the Great Union or the sacred marriage. They join the god Amun-Ra and his wife, his consort Mut, once a year. Okay, and this tradition copied later on by the Greek and Roman in the Edfu temple, like Horus, I mentioned that yesterday. Here the original thing. In the 11 months, 4 days before the full moon, that's the timing of the feast. Okay, of the inundation, before the inundation of the Nile, they started to celebrate. How? Luxor temple, it's about 2.5 kilometers from here. Okay, the goddess Mut, okay, it's about. Okay, so this is the third pylon now here. Broken. Third pylon. You can see the windows here. Okay. They always make the windows with vertical pillars like this. So the sunlight can go inside the temple with different angles, as well as air ventilation for the temple, because it's roofed. Those are the only windows for air. Third pylon built by the pharaoh Amun-Hotep III. Used to build pyramids in the old kingdom, okay, Giza. Looks like this, pediment roof, which stands for what? Stands for the first piece of land appeared in the beginning of life, okay, in the primeval ocean. So it stands for beginning of life, as well as it's always pointing at the sun god, okay, and it looks like the pyramids, this pyramidal shape looks like stairs, gives an impression of an immense flight of stairs to infinity. The pharaoh to unify with the sun god. Higher ones, about 25 meters high, nothing left except this. This one, standing still. The other one, only the base exists, and it's now lying down, okay, on the floor by the sacred lake. Big granite, big one, okay. The question is, how the Egyptian erected this obelisk, okay, which is very, very hard, and with bare hands, no machines, no ropes. Do you have an idea? Altar, the original sanctuary of the old pharaoh, dated 1300 years before Christ. Okay. Let's now turn around the sanctuary, okay, like we did in Kadesh. If you live here 100 years to come, you will see her very well preserved, mummified.
Everybody laugh.
Okay. It's around the altar. It's divided into sections. Okay, let's explain them from the top to bottom. Okay, the top from the left. Here you can see a scene of purification. This is the same pharaoh. So it's the king, Philip Aridaeus, the stepbrother of Alexander the Great, represent himself being purified by the god. The second scene, coronation scene. Always you see the coronation scene after the purification scene, okay? And then joined by the gods, leading him to the palace or to the temple. And here, God Amun-Ra was still on feather, and his wife, the goddess Nut, behind, and he is kneeling down. And 17 campaigns, okay? So every country, every city, every place he went, they brought from there seeds, birds, trees. So he recorded everything in his room. All this was colored one day. Let's see the different kind of fruits and vegetables. Here the cherry as well, locusts, Paris, the Egyptian geese and egrets. Okay, try to imagine how it was colored. Okay, let's go. Come in.
Where? Let's take.
Great. What do you think it is? Eggplant. Eggplant. The aubergine here was colored. The flowers and trees, the cows. Here, different kind of birds, Egyptians like hippo and heron and sparrows and and egrets and vulture, bulls. Here, what do you think it is? Bear. Okay, bear. Tomato. Eggplant again.
스밍포.
So, in every temple, we made a lake. Remember the religion or the belief of the beginning of creation, but everything was nothing except some sort of evil energy. Remember that? Where a priest purified himself before rain.
Kita sengaja ya, Pak?
صحتهم من
وانا اقول بصح الناس ورحنا انا اسابق
النبي ضرب يضرب من حد يا احمد يا احمد لا لا قوم
所有影響，邊次影響？邊兩個？嚟咩？你啦，我啱出去啊！嗰個帶隊嘅啦。Are they outside？咩？你哋仲喺嗰度？嗰帶隊嘅咯，跟住帶隊啦，你去到嗰度都冇用啦。
تتعشى تاخد تصير
16
انا متعشى
احنا غدانا عشان نتغدى نصلي المغرب والعشاء
Condense as we can. Picture. Take a picture. طبعا اهم جنس مصر 6 or on the top of temples, because baboons, those or monkeys always accumulate and during the sunrise and make sounds, and then they are worshipping the sunrise. So they making as a gods, protective gods of the base. So from a distance you can recognize the temple because of the high obelisk. Now look inside the temple from here. Do you feel like the slope, inclination of the angle? Okay. So this part of the temple is not vertical in the original old colonnade inside. This section built later on, but with a slope to the left. Why? To avoid an ancient shrine inside. Okay, an old one. So So the statues at the front accumulated sand. So let's see the mosque was built over there. Amun Mut and Khunzi. Okay, so this triad is very old. It's made in the 18th dynasty. Okay, so came Pharaoh Ramses II, who lived in the 20th dynasty. He wants to add something to the old temple. So he made this open court, 74 columns, double row of columns. It was roofed. Okay, but in the center is open court. Closed, but apparently in between he put his statues standing. Unfortunately, it's broken. You can see the heads down there. Some of them wearing single crown, some of them wearing double crown. All of them represent him while he's alive. So when he built this section, he wanted to include this old triple chapel inside his court. So he made it, he had to make a slope like this, right? This section was already occupied by Mark. Built in the 10th century, Fatimid time, or still practicing mosque. Sidi Abu al-Hajjaj Mosque. There is they make a festival every year for the birthday of this sheikh. Picture whatever you like, because it's very signing for you. Open court for the common people to come to celebrate the feast. Double rows of columns was roofed. The best example of the 18th dynasty fine work. It used to have an architrave, double ceiling. It's a perticos all the way around. Ripped columns, closed, front. Okay. To a sanctuary, and they make an arch like this and add it. Look, the plaster over there, the plaster portraits of Coptic portraits have been added to the original Quranic relief. Can you see it? Huh? They're adding the plaster picture of saints, Coptic saints above the original relief.
تعال